What's going on, Bellplex fam? So in this video, we're going to be talking about ways to progressively overload. Now, if you don't know what progressive overload is, it is basically just a fancy way of saying doing more in your next workout, making your workouts harder, challenging yourself, and so on, all right? Now, there are a couple obvious ways to go about that that most people get caught up on, which can then sometimes lead to frustration because those don't always work. So I want to talk about some different routes that you can do to still progress in your workouts, make them challenging, and make yourself feel like you are doing more each week and you're getting better, okay? So in this case, we are going to be using 5 sets. Why can't you see that? Wrong marker, that's why, all right? We're gonna be doing 5 sets of 10 kettlebell swings at 50 pounds, okay? So this is just the example we're going to be using for today, all right? Now, the obvious way that you would say, hey, how do I do more, or how do I make this harder, is week 1, I do 5 sets of 10 kettlebell swings at 50 pounds. The next week, I do 5 sets of 10 at 55 pounds. And then the week after that, I do 60 pounds and so on and so forth. That's the obvious way. Do more weight, okay? So I'm not necessarily going to talk about that one because that one's pretty straightforward, and I think that's how everybody knows how to progressively overload. It's just do more weight. The problem is that doesn't always work for a couple different reasons. One, if I could just continuously add more weight every single week to my kettlebell swings, I'd be swinging a 900-pound kettlebell at this point. It just doesn't happen. If we could do that, everybody would hold a world record and everything. So it just doesn't happen. We hit those plateaus, we kind of hit our limit for a little while, and we need to find different ways to then break through those, okay? So that's the obvious one. Again, not really going to talk about that one. Also, in your guys' specific case, in kettlebell specifically, is you might not have the next weight, or your next weight might be a big jump, okay? You might not have 100 kettlebells like I do, where you can go up little by little every single increment, all right? So that's specifically another way I really want to talk about, all right? So in this case, 5 sets of 10 kettlebell swings at 50 pounds. Let's say the next weight you have is 70 pounds, all right? Let's just say that's where we're at, okay? Just kind of making up a scenario. Now, one way to do that and start to build up to get into that 70 pounds is we could do more reps. That's another one that's like kind of obvious, all right? So maybe week 1, let's say this is week 1, 5 sets of 10. Week 2 is 5 sets of 12 reps. Swings at 50 pounds, right? We did 50 swings today, 60 swings this day. And we just start to build up a little bit more momentum. Then maybe we do like 14 or 15 the next week and so on. Again, that one is pretty straightforward, but there's also going to be a limit on that one. But for the most part, pretty straightforward until you start to build the strength to maybe then get to that 70 pounds. All right? So that's one way we can go about it, is more reps. I think you guys can see that. Okay? Now, another way is what I call like more density. All right, so a way we can do that is instead of maybe doing 5 sets of 10 swings at 50, maybe you can't do 5 sets of 10 at the 70, but you're like, I can do 1 set at the 70, I think. Cool. We're going to do 4 by 10 at the 50. All right, and then maybe we can do 1 set of 10 at the 70. All right, I can't do 5 sets, but I can do 1. Then maybe the week after, we do 3 by 10 at 50 and 2 by 10 at the 70, and so on until we can start to build a little bit of strength and we can build up to the point where we're doing all 5 sets of 10 at the 70, all right? So we're still doing 5 sets of 10, but we're putting more weight into that 5 sets of 10, but maybe not in the way that we might be accustomed to, which is just, let's just do all 5 sets of 10, or all 5 sets of 10 at that increased weight. Again, doesn't always really happen that way, all right? Now, another way that you can kind of maneuver this one is you feel comfortable with the 50, the 70 is too heavy for all 5 sets, but you want to start to mess with it, all right? Maybe you do something like this, all right? Okay, I can't do 10, but I could do 5 at the 70, right? Maybe you even do all 5 sets of 10 so you get everything that's written down in your program done for the day, and then you're like, let me just dabble with the 70 a little bit and just start to slowly mess with it a little, all right? So if you had the increased weight, okay, and you can't do exactly what's written, I don't want you to be afraid of, I don't want you to not touch it. If you think you can do a little bit with it, go toy with it. That's the only way we're gonna eventually build up to it, all right? So another way that we can go about it is adding more volume. Now, this might be the case in addition to adding more reps is if you don't have something to build up to. Now, you might. This is another way to go about it, all right? So maybe, okay, you feel comfortable with this 50-pound kettlebell for sets of 10, all right? It's difficult for a set of 10, all right? And that's totally fine. If it is difficult, then cool. Maybe you stick with your sets of 10, but maybe the second week you do 6 sets of 10. And then maybe the third week you do 7 by 10 and so on, all right? Now, we don't want to be doing a billion kettlebell swings, but this might be a pretty heavy weight for you to do for a set of 10. Let's pretend this doesn't exist right now. This is the heaviest one you've got, all right? And you could do 10 swings and you feel good doing it, but you don't really want to be doing sets of 12 or 15. That's just going to smoke you. Maybe you just add another set in there. That's totally fine as well. And this is another good way, especially with kettlebells, and this goes for anything. I want you guys to keep that in mind. This is not just swings, all right? So this goes for anything. If you feel comfortable with this, but you can't go up in weight, or can't go up in reps, maybe you go up in sets, all right? So that's another way that you can go about it. Lost my towel. Here we go. So I hope that may have cleared the air with some of you guys in terms of how to continuously go up in weight. If one, you have a big jump, or maybe, or not to continuously go up in weight, but maybe you have a big jump in kettlebells. Maybe you have nothing. Maybe you're using the heaviest one that you've got. So I want you to always feel comfortable doing that. Another way that you could do it is even, I just thought of this, so sorry, we're a little off topic here. Maybe just do less reps, right? So maybe you want to start with your 70. All right, sorry, we're going back to 5 by 10 at 50, and the next one is 70, all right? I'm okay if you're like, yo, this is too light, but this is too heavy, and I got nothing in between. Cool, maybe we switch it. Can you do 7 reps with this, 8 reps? Maybe we do 5 by 7 or 8 at the 70, all right? So, again, another way to just slowly start to kind of dabble with making your workouts a little bit tougher. I know that was a little all over the place and I kind of just threw a lot at you guys, but I just want you to know, and I want you to feel comfortable altering things a little bit based on the scenario that you're in, all right? I can write a workout and it might not be done the same way by everybody because of different levels of fitness, different, strengths and weaknesses, and different kettlebell arsenals. That's going to be a really big factor in terms of how you go about your workouts with these. So I just want you to feel comfortable switching things up just a little bit in the way that you need to so you can continuously progress in these workouts, all right? I hope that helped. If you guys have any questions with anything and how to maybe go about increasing and doing whatever you got to do to continuously progressively overload, don't hesitate to shoot me a message, all right? I'll see you guys in the app.